what we are really hoping is that by sharing in stories with one another, you're going to get to know people in a different way. You're going to discover that we are community, whether this is your first time here or whether you've been here week after week and year after year for a long time. We are a community and we are grounded in the love of Christ, and that's why we're here. And what we hope is by the time you leave this evening, you will know some people in a way that you haven't known them before. It takes a lot of bravery to do this, some more than others, I think. But we are so grateful to those that have agreed to do this. When they come forward, I would encourage you to encourage them as they come forward and encourage them as they sit down, because I think it's going to be a long walk up to the microphone. But we are just, again, we're so grateful. The first person to tell her story tonight is Sandy Tedeschi. And Sandy has been a part of Floris for about 8 years-ish, as she said, 8-ish years. She is a wonderful volunteer. She is here on Sunday mornings, every morning, for the 8 o'clock service. Every time she's in town, she's here. And she is here by like 7 o'clock. It's awfully impressive, and we're so grateful that she's here. Most recently, she has volunteered for our racial diversity workstream group. And so she's been a part of that group that's been working. And as a part of their meetings, they each took time to share their story about why they were in that group. And Sandy is the one who volunteered tonight, I think with a lot of coercion perhaps, but she volunteered to come, and she is going to share just a brief story about her life and the Racial Diversity Workstream Group. So let's welcome Sandy Tedeschi.
You can tell I'm not used to doing this. Do you see the size of this type? So I'll put on my glasses. Okay. Yes, I did share this with the group, and I'm sharing it with you all this evening. So, okay.
You keep talking.
Okay. Just don't poke me. I was born in the segregated South. I was born before marches for voting rights, and before I Have a Dream speeches, and before the ensuing violence of the 50s and the 60s. It was a very small rural town where peanuts and cotton were the local crops. Everything was separate: schools, theaters, churches. Signs were posted at colored entrances. My interaction with blacks was limited to one who worked in my grandmother's home. Mamie always came in the back door. She did laundry and ironed. She kept us out of the kitchen after she washed and waxed the floor. And she hummed beautiful hymns while she worked. I never played with a black child, but sometimes I'd see Mamie's grandchildren in the car when her son picked her up. I moved away from the South as a child, but I always returned in the summer to visit with my maternal relatives. I saw Mamie every time. These were very innocent years in my life. I loved my grandparents, and I could never have imagined that they were perpetuating systems of injustice. I never saw the ugliness of segregation. But I did eventually realize that I was prejudiced. It was subtle, but it was a part of me. As an adult, I saw all the racial stereotypes on television and in newspapers, making it a little harder to shed my prejudice. It's been a lifelong challenge because I was born in the segregated South and I loved my grandparents.